All systems go. Yes. Fuck yeah. All right. This is exciting. I'm super glad to be here with you guys again from Copenhagen edition. I just realized that I'll be back home in New York next Thursday, and then the following 2 Thursdays, I'll be in Copenhagen again because we have some family business. First, it was my brother's 50th, and now a next trip is going to be my wife's dad's wedding. So all the family stuff in Denmark. So a lot of calls, a lot of unfiltered from Copenhagen. Glad to have you guys here. So I'm going to talk a little bit up front about some of the things that I'm obsessed with, some of the things that are top of mind for me, and then we're going to get into your questions. So make sure that you put your hat in the ring, that you raise your hand, metaphorically speaking, sooner rather than later so that we can talk and I can answer your questions. I want to hear about some of the wins that you've had in the past week. What have you achieved? What kind of success? What kind of wins? Can be tiny, can be personal, can be anything. Can be like you ran a mile for the first time running in a while, or you got up before 7 for the first time in a while. Like whatever, can be any kind of thing. But what are some of your wins? I want to hear about that. All right, so we got Kimberly from Des Moines, Iowa. We got Laura from Copenhagen. All right, let's hear everybody where you're from and some wins. And I'll go first. So I had a win for me this week was really spending a lot of quality time with my brother. So he's 50. We had a really great relationship as kids, and then we had several years where we were never like really far apart, but we weren't really close either. And now we were able to get really close, and it just feels very, very good to have a brother like that I feel very close with. So huge win for me. Let's see here. Garter says she's from Reykjavik, Iceland. It's amazing. Carrie from Delray Beach, Florida. And Carrie's big win is that she doubled her price for one of her services and sold it at the new rate. That's amazing. It reminds me of a friend of mine years ago was selling, sessions, kind of like coaching body therapy sessions. And I believe she tripled her prices. And it was really amazing how it just opened up a whole different clientele for her of people who would never buy from her at her lower rates because that was, kind of beneath them. They saw themselves as something more than that. And by just tripling her rates, she was able to acquire a whole other set of clients, a whole other caliber of clients, and obviously make a lot more money. So huge win on that, Carrie. Good job. I see NY from New York. I see Kimberly saying, really important emotional maturity growth and also getting more clarity on business and feeling closer to launch. That's amazing. Fantastic, Kimberly. Lars has created a new strategy for how to automate my business with my assistant. That's so cool. And sold 2 spots on my teacher training. That's super cool as well. All right. Rolando's asking if she still keep a lower package for others. My friend, for that story I told you, no, that was her new price. Yeah. All right. Cool. Thank you, guys. So let me start. I have a couple things that I want to address up front, and then we'll get straight into your questions. So one of the journeys that I've been on is the whole process as a leader of how do we get other people to do effective work for us, to do the work that we want them to do, and with some people it's easy. It's been easy for me. With others, it's been not so easy. Recently, we've added a bunch of designers to the team, product designers that are really talented people, really really good people, and what I found was that I was giving them too vague instructions. I was trying to paint the picture of like, here's the context, and here are the parameters, and here's what we're trying to solve, and here's the current situation. Here's some examples that I think are doing it well, and this is what I'm thinking. Let me like go solve this. Like, what do you think, kind of thing. Show me what you got. And it didn't work at all. It didn't work at all. And so what I started doing that has worked is I get super granular. I'm like, okay, let me do all of the research up front to find out exactly what I want it to be like. So I'll look at a bunch of different products out there, a bunch of different solutions, trying to think of like, where can I get inspired to see examples of how other people solve this kind of problem. And then I will and then I'll spec it down very, very granular, like this, and this, and like do a checklist for them. And it's worked phenomenally well. Like, they love it because they were lost with the other piece. Part of it too is language barrier. They're over in Poland. Actually, all of our designers happen to be in Poland, even though it's just random. Um, but and it's working so much better. And I think in general, like, I have been very hesitant to spell things out at that level of granularity, because I hate it. If other people would do that to me, I would hate it. And it's a lot of work. It's time consuming and somewhat tiring in some regards, but it is the work that somebody needs to do that job. And the designers are not capable of it. I'm the one that has to do it, and then I can really spec it down, and then they can execute on it. So that's been a big realization for me, that is the model that works in this context with these people. And in general, I do find, especially with newer people, that like just being overly specific in the beginning is super helpful to get traction. And actually for me, it would make me feel constrained, but for most people, I think it makes them feel safe because they know what the expectations are, and then they can execute within that and do really well. So I wanted to share that insight with you guys. Let me see. Um, the other topic I wanted to touch on is just, what does success mean, right? What does success mean for you in your business? It's very easy to focus on the money. And I know that our community here tends to not be like super obsessed about the money, but obviously money is really important. Like impact, or being able to reach a certain number of people and that kind of thing. And I think it's important to recognize that success is not a destination out there. Success is our daily experience. It's success is in creating a life for ourselves that we enjoy, that we feel good in, that's sustainable, that allows us to be fulfilled in on every level, right? So we can keep our health, and we can exercise and eat healthy, and we can have our relationships and see other people, et cetera, et cetera. That's critical to understand, that like success, we can push ourselves so hard and drive ourselves so hard to get to somewhere in the future. And there's merit to that, right? That the whole delayed gratification thing, that we can choose to forego, we can sacrifice in the moment so that we reap the reward in the future. And that's all well and good. But the risk is that becomes just a habit, and we keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going. And all of a sudden we're retired, and now we have time and maybe money, but we don't have health, and we don't have our friends, and etc. So just keep that in mind always. Success is an optimized daily experience, sustainable over time. Success is an optimized daily experience, sustainable over time. If you have that, you are successful. You have success, and that's it. That's all we're going for, right? That's all we got. That's all there is. An optimized daily experience, sustainable over time. All right, mic drop. That was what I wanted to share with you guys. So let's hear it. Let's open up for questions. Who do we got? And remember, put your questions in, put your hand up in the chat by saying that you have a question, and then we'll bring you on and we'll answer your questions. That is what we're here to do. So, Bryson, who do we got? Yeah, I see people res. Quote. Yep. Cool. Yeah.
Calvin, while we're waiting for Kimberly, Laura asked a follow up about the first thing you said around getting more granular. She asked, could it
Mhm.
be cultural differences and this type of job requiring more specific instructions?
Yeah. Hey, Kimberly. Hey.
My question was because I put the question in the chat and then I was like ready to go on and it was like, what's your question? And then all I could think was so I just put that.
Great. What do you got?
Okay. So hold on one second. Okay. So so basically, since I've started here, I'm always talking about the launch, and I do feel like I'm making progress. Every day I feel like I'm making progress and I'm so happy about that. But basically where I'm at is I have this, I teach piano, right? Like I do it my own way. I think it's unique and fun and special and I think people love it. Um, but I'm exploring different ways to get that information to people rather than just a one-on-one, piano lesson. So basically, I've created this membership site, and I'm feeling really good about this kind of like signature membership is what I'm calling it. But I already know that people are going to be like, well, do you give private one-on-one lessons? I already know that they're going to do that. So my question is, and then there also are going to be people that probably want to take in the information, but they don't want to do any of the live group coaching and stuff like that. So more of like a self-study program. So I can see that there are three tiers that people would probably like to have. But this is my
Mhm.
first experience doing anything like this. So my fear is if I start with the launch with these three different tiers, I may be technically overwhelmed and like just kind of fail. So my question for you is, do you think I should start with the three tiers because I know people are going to be asking me that, like, do you have this, do you have that? Or should I start with the signature membership and then grow and then expand into having the self-study and the work with me one-on-one kind of options?
100% the latter. Yeah. Because it's not just you that's going to be overwhelmed with managing three tiers and all that stuff, but your clients too are going to be like, which one are like should I get? And like, you're giving them choices that they might not understand properly. And so yeah, 100% put all your weight behind one option, and that's your option. And then if people come and say, "Oh, I really love if there's like this option, that option," you're like, "Yeah, I might do that in the future, but if you want to be sure to get the thing now, right? Like get them in that program."
Okay, what a relief. Great.
Yeah.
That way I can focus on what I really think is going to help the most people the most. And I heard you say that somewhere. I don't remember where I heard you say that, but that's what I do believe that this main membership will do.
That's it. That's it. Yeah. Focus, keep it simple. Don't overwhelm people. I remember there's a shop. One of my friends is a if, the investor in a small chain of like delis or whatever. I don't know what they are. They're coffee shops, I guess. They're in New York City and Miami called Dr. Smood.
Uh-huh.
And first time I got in there, I was like, "What the hell is this place?" Because they had so many things on the menu. I couldn't figure out what the hell they were about, right? And it's that feeling. I mean, is that feeling that when there's just too many options, you just get confused. It's a lot easier and a lot simpler if there's just one, and
Yeah.
this is what you're doing, and that people can say, "This is for me" or not.
Yeah, I love that. That's so great. That reminds me of going to Costa Rica. I remember what I loved probably the most was that like anytime I'd go to the grocery store, it's like, what should I get? And it's like it was always like, rice, beans, limes, tomatoes. tortillas, cheese. Like that's all that there was. And actually, tacos have become kind of a big deal in my life because I lost like 80 pounds from eating tacos. Everyone's like, "What did you do like to lose weight?" I'm like, "I just ate tacos for 2/3 of my meals. I ate tacos. Like they were super healthy, corn tortillas, some meat, some cheese, some vegetables, and I didn't have to think. I just
Right.
and I looked forward to them because I knew what to expect. I knew how to make them. It took me 60 seconds in the microwave. So yeah, okay,
There
that's
you go.
great to
Yeah.
hear.
Not making people think is huge, right?
Yeah,
It's huge. There's a book called Don't Make Me Think, which is about user interface, user interaction design. That's what we try to do with the software is like,
totally.
don't make me think, right? And same I teach that to my team members as well, right? When you're describing things, when you're asking questions, etc., like when you ask, don't make me think. And that's just not just for me, but for anybody. When you're talking to other people on the team, like provide them all the information so that they can give you what you need right there without, having to ask clarifying questions or think too deeply, don't
Yeah.
make me think. Yeah.
Hey, can I just finish off with one final question that I feel like would really, really help me?
Yeah.
Okay. So then I remember a couple weeks ago or whenever it was, you kind of said maybe I should sell it. I think you said something like selling it for a higher price for like a course or whatever it was. But what I feel like I want to do is a membership so that I can start, so that I can grow with the people and add new lessons and modules every week. And so do you think that's okay? Like, I guess maybe I'm seeking validation here, which is probably like not healthy, but I am wondering, like, do you think it's okay if I do a monthly membership? And just for right now, not even do an annual plan, just a monthly membership, just to get started and see how it goes and how it feels.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. You can. You absolutely can. Yeah. Yeah, just have to be like make sure that you're committed to it. So, like the thing that can happen with a membership is you don't get quite enough members in there to for you to feel like it's worth your while, and then you will have churn, right? Some people decide to quit. Like so make up in your mind that you're committed to it. I would always do an annual upfront option though. I
Okay.
would say like, and you can make it very, very attractive to people. So I don't know what your price point is, but you can make it so that the annual is basically half price of it, if you paid monthly. Um,
Okay.
but make it have an annual option so that you know that you have certain people who are committed.
Okay. Okay. That's okay. I like that. Okay. Thank you very much.
You bet. My pleasure. My pleasure.
Well, I will not click leave. I'm not going to leave this time. And advice to everyone else, I think you should call in ahead of time, right? And put your question in there because I did it the reverse. And then it takes
Yeah.
some time, some lag.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that might be a good idea. Yeah. Bryson, you can look into that. Yeah, good point. Um, cool. Thank you, Kimberly. Um, what was I was thinking too? Yeah. So the thing about not having to think, I quit alcohol, 2019, and the thing that stuck with me the most was like not having to think about whether I was gonna drink or not. Right. That like freedom of like I don't even have to worry about it. And like should I drink, have a glass of wine? Should I not have a glass of wine? Oh, I had a glass of wine. Should I have two glasses of wine? Like how much is, oh, and then the next day, like, am I feeling bad because I had too much wine? Yada, yada, yada. Right. So the not having to think is so powerful. I also did a, a liver cleanse a couple times, 9 day medical medium liver cleanse, similar kind of thing. Like he spells out exactly what you need to eat throughout the day, all 9 days, nothing to think about. It's really nice sometimes to not have to think about these things. All right, we're ready for the next question. Bryson, if you want to cue that one up. What was the other question? So Laura's asking, could it be a cultural difference in this type of job? Like, possibly. I don't know cultural. I think it's I think there's definitely like just different people who are good at different things, and yeah, definitely different types of jobs require different type of leadership. So I think it's more it's situational, right? There's definitely people like me who you would never want to lead um, in that kind of control centric style, and then there are other people that you do. So it's a matter of figuring out what the situation calls for. But I think I have definitely been um, I've definitely been erring on the side of giving too little specific direction, not enough specific direction to people. And it's been really helpful to go way deeper on that, right? It's so much work to think through all these little details, but then again, somebody's got to do it. And if you want them the way that you want them, like a lot of the times, that's what you have to do. Now, the trick there, of course, is then not squashing people's initiative, right? So if you spell it out really detailed, and then it's kind of like when you're manifesting, you're just like, oh, I want this kind of partner or this kind of house or yada yada, and then you always add this or something better, right? It's kind of the same thing. Where like, this is what I'm thinking, and if you have better ideas, don't hold them back. I want to hear them, but but at least you've pushed the boulder forward quite a bit. So yeah. All right, let's see here.
That's great. We've got a couple people now, Calvin, that have
All right,
questions.
awesome,
So go ahead and
cool.
call in whoever is ready.
Let's do
Tom,
it.
Catherine, and Laura.
Cool. All right, I see Laura. Wait, you beat me to it, right? Cool. Well,
Hi,
Laura, good to
can
see
you
you
hear me?
again.
You
Yep.
too? So it's not really a specific question, at least not regarding my business right now. Well, I suppose it is relevant for me. I was just curious, how do you combine like spirituality and business? It's quite a broad question, but maybe you had some examples about how you feel they're connected.
Uh-huh. Well, yeah, I think the way I look at it is like, how do you not, honestly, right? Like it's so interlinked. Um, so um, I think the way that I think about it too is spirituality is just reality, right? Spirituality done right is just reality. It's not like it's not separate from reality. The reality is that most of our ideas about what reality is really like is an illusion, and that's not how reality really works, right? There is everything is interconnected, and we are pure spirit that are embodied here on earth, and that kind of good stuff. um, so the way that to me it's about um, living my purpose. So it's about having a clear sense of who I am and what I'm here on earth to do, and then making sure that that's what I'm doing, that I'm showing up in that way in my business. Does that make sense?
Yes, it actually opens a new question in me.
Yeah.
Because I've been running my business now for around 6 years, and this year I started actually feel a bit of loss of motivation of what
Uh-huh.
I thought was my purpose,
Right.
and I started feeling inspiration going in a different direction. And at this moment, I'm working on connecting the two, and I
Mhm.
feel they can be integrated into one. But it was actually quite of a rough phase of it's like, oh my God, am I losing my purpose? And what is my purpose now? So for me, yeah, it was really interesting. I thought I'd found my purpose, and I think I'm just redefining it, really.
Yeah, I think part of some of us have to go through this spiritual crisis of meaning every so often, where like, what's the point, and what am I doing here, and is this really like the right thing, and all that. And it's just part of the journey, and you go through that, and then you kind of uncover new layers or new truths, and get to know yourself better. That's 100% part of the journey. So yeah, you just keep going.
And I was also wondering, do you have any like specific practices that you do? So one thing is the meaning and the purpose, but is it just you just flow?
Um, No, it's always trying to figure out what is the growth edge for me. Like, where am I? The way I see it is that we are this eternal flame, eternal pure spirit, but we're here embodied, and because of that whole mind body structure that we have, which is all one thing, right? It's not, body and mind are not separate, it's really one thing. But because of that structure, that's imposing some limitations in our world. So one of my favorite books is Autobiography of a Yogi. And then I don't know if you're familiar with that book. Have you read it?
No, but I'm a yoga teacher, so I probably should be.
It's fascinating book. So it's a guy named Paramahansa Yogananda, who is a real person who grew up in India, and ended up immigrating to the United States. And he started a self-realization fellowship. It's called. It's in Encinitas and Los Angeles, and it's still there, even though he's passed away now. And he tells us the story of his upbringing and his entire life. And one of the fascinating things is that he works with some gurus in India that are several hundred years old and that can manifest at will anywhere they want and in multiple places at once. And he tells the story of one of them who manifests a castle out of nothing, out of thin air, complete with like actual, bricks and, perfectly cooked meals and all that kind of stuff. And really, in physics, there's nothing that prevents that from happening, any of those things from happening. But we're not quite there. And so I don't know if I'll get there in this lifetime, right? But is that idea of like, what are the layers that I need to peel away so that I can be more of who I really am? That's what it comes down to, right? As an entrepreneur, my job is to be all of what I can be in a business context so that I can serve people and live my purpose. And it's the same thing on a personal level, that I can do that in my personal relationships. It's all the same. And so, like, I use body SDS a lot. I had 4 hours of body SDS this morning, and I plan my trips to Copenhagen around it. That's why we're doing 2 Thursdays here, because Stefano, my main body SDS therapist, he has his Thursdays available. So I book my trips so I can get 2 Thursdays and then maybe some Sunday as well if I'm lucky. So that's a huge thing that I do to unlock these different layers. And I find that it's every single time it's like let me say this, most of the time I don't know what it is that's my block, right? Because I can't see it until all of a sudden it's like, oh shit, that whole thing opened up and now I can see, and it's always that feeling of like, oh, this can be so easy if I stop fighting myself or stop playing out my old patterns. Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. That was really beautiful, the whole about unraveling or like removing the blockages. I
That's
can
it.
see that.
That's it. Yeah. And a
Thanks.
huge unlock for me in the past 5 years has been just owning my masculinity. Like as a man, I was like very feminine guy and very scared of my own masculine side because, I was scared of my dad and I didn't want to be like him and like all these things, right? And so unpacking that and unlocking that, and as a leader, it makes me so much of a better leader, to have access to that side. I'm still strong, super strong feminine side, but having free access to both sides. And then more recently was that whole unlocking my birth trauma at a whole new level of that left me sort of half in, half out, and choosing to be fully in and fully committed in what I do. Also huge unlock as a leader.
Yeah, I get exactly what you say. The new path I'm working is Tantra, and I'm becoming a Tantra teacher. So masculine, feminine, it's so fascinating.
That's exciting.
Mm.
That's congrats.
Thank you. Thanks for the
Right.
answer.
Thank you, Laura. All right. Awesome. Thanks. Great question from Laura. Appreciate it very much. I believe we're in the same city, if I remember correctly. Laura said she was in Copenhagen. Cool. I think I saw Tom come on.
Yeah, I think Tom is trying to get in, and Nella has a question too. She's wondering about whether or not she has to show herself in front of her audience in order to communicate her message because she's shy and she doesn't like being on camera.
Nice, including in this context. That's
Right.
cool.
I assume so. Yes.
Yeah. Well, we can work with that. Um, yeah, no, I don't think you. I mean, you don't have to show yourself in front of your audience to send your message. There are a lot of very influential people who do writing, who write really really well, right? So you have to know your medium, or you could do an audio podcast and reach your audience that way. So I do feel like people tend to connect with people really well over video, but by no means is that a requirement. Because if you're not comfortable with on video or you're not good at it, then yeah, don't do that. It's totally fine. All right, I see Tom here. Let's do it.
Get a challenge to get in the room. That's
I know.
awesome. You gotta really be committed.
You gotta mean it for sure.
I tried like 10 times. It's like, your video will not work. It's like, sure it will.
Yeah.
So anyway, good to see you, Calvin.
Good to see you,
be
brother.
here.
Yeah.
Really appreciate everything that's already been laid out. It's really beautiful. And I really appreciate your vulnerability. I can relate to a lot of it, a lot of your story. I had a strategic question. I think it aligns with what Kimberly was talking about. I've been using groups, but when you said, the whole commitment thing, it's like, oh yeah, that thing. Oh yeah, let me circle back to this. Let's just get real. I like the idea of the strategy of having, very simple, a nurturing group, right? Invite people. And by the way, I'm not trying to get thousands of people. I'm trying to get a small number of interested people. My work is about purpose, leading people to their purpose. I call it walk your why. And I want them to be serious, and they really see the need for purpose in their life, and they see that the fact that it's lacking, or the fact that they're not really living up to it, is a problem. So I'm kind of, a lot of my outreach is much more personal, so I'm not doing at least right now, not doing big ad campaigns trying to attract people who might be this person. Right? So I think a group is a good place, but I think it's that commitment thing. Because I've tried like, I'll try this group and I'll try this. I'm just trying too many different things. So I guess my question is, one, do you think that's a solid strategy for what I'm trying to do for nurturing people to have like an initial group that's free? So I have a mastermind now. There's no charge. I think I've got good people in it. It's not a lot, but it's something I can put more attention to. I think can make better. And then the idea was to have like a paid membership after that would bring people, into a kind of a group arrangement. And then from there, people who wanted to would do one-on-one coaching.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's very simple.
Yeah. So the question is, does the kind of free group leading to a paid program, is that a good strategy? Is that your question?
Yeah, I mean, I guess because that's the thing. I keep getting, you get all this other noise out there of do this, do that.
Yeah.
It's like, can I just make this strategy work?
I think 100%. I think that's a really good point. Is most of these strategies can work 100%, right? It's just a matter of are you committed to see it through until it actually works for you? And the other question is it a good match for you? But it sounds like you're liking the strategy, so it's just a matter of sticking with it until it works. Now, the one question I have is, because you keep saying, I don't need thousands of people. I just want a small number of people. But like, what's wrong with thousands of people?
Nothing's wrong with thousands of people. I guess when I'm thinking in terms of the group itself, just knowing enough about group dynamics, that the kind of group that I prefer to lead and be a part of is a smaller group environment. I think that's really when I'm going to do.
So what I would do is reserve that for the paid group. Right?
Mm-hmm.
The paid group is a smaller. And then if you have thousands of people in your free group where I think the free group is more, it's not, I don't see you as being as active there. It's more, the free group is more like content and doing something to spur some community, maybe. I think there's a lot of calling out like identity, giving people something to identify with, like I am here, I'm this kind of person. that type of stuff. Like people like that, and give them that, and then you fish out of that pool for your paid programs, and your paid programs are kind of limited in the number of members that you can have. That's natural scarcity right there. And so you're telling people, hey, like if you want to have a chance to be here, there's only like 4 seats, and once they're gone, they're gone. And I might open up some more in 6 months or whatever, but like you better act now, and that's going to work really well.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. So I guess, yeah, right now I'm doing the free group as if it was a paid group. So I think
Right.
that's something where I need to maybe I don't know, any ideas on how to transition that? I mean, it has a lot of value. People appreciate it, but there's a part of me that's like, "Ooh, this should have been." I mean, what
Yeah.
you're saying, this should have been the one that was paid.
I think I would just go out and say that, like, look, I'm realizing this, like, I'm adding a ton of value here. This really ought to be a paid group. I'm gonna transition this group into being something different. If you want to be part of a paid group that's like this but better, right? But like add some extra stuff so they don't like just like, wait, I went from this is free and now it's like the same thing paid, but like add some extra elements that are high perceived value for them, and then just say that and like, hey, this is a taste. Now, if you're ready to step up, here's the real thing. And then you will quickly learn whether, how much people really valued it, right? Like, are they willing to pay for it?
Yeah, that's a good idea. And I might even just like grandfather them for a certain period of time or something. Say, hey, you're invited to be kind of the founding member. I mean, do you think that has any value, or do you think it's? I hear what you're saying.
Yeah,
That makes
definitely give
sense
them
to
you can definitely give them a good price, but I would 100% ask for commitment in the form of payment now in particular, right? I wouldn't. They've already been grandfathered for however long you've been doing it.
True, exactly. Yeah.
Now obviously that's not how it was presented. So they're they're probably not going to feel that way, and you have to be mindful of that. But I would just say, hey, like we're going to continue this as a paid group, and if you're interested, here's what it is, and here's all the 3 extra things that you get in the paid format, and because like you as a founding member, you get half price or whatever.
Or I guess I could even, along the lines of what you're saying, I could say this format is becoming the paid group, which is now here at this link, and this group you're in is now is going to stay free, but here's how it's changing. Exactly. It's going to be less personal if you want to continue the personal. If you've enjoyed that, if that's been powerful, that way they're like, oh, cool, I can still stay here. But was it? I love what you're saying. It really, I think it's good feedback for me. Was it valuable enough for them that they would pay for it?
Exactly.
So,
right. Yeah.
Okay. Beautiful.
Right.
Awesome.
When money is a question, it's a different beast, right? Like you really learn. One other thing that comes to mind is one of my friends, Rachel Miller. We did a quick we did a presentation with her like over a year ago, I think, year and a half maybe. But she's a genius at collecting people on Facebook into free groups. So I haven't done this strategy. We have obviously the Simplero group. It's a free group, but it's not something we're pursuing as a marketing strategy. We might do that at some point, right? That can be a very effective strategy. I know other people who are using it very successfully. Rachel Miller is really, really good at creating those free groups. And I think she does it all organically, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong about that. But the key that I remember that she kept talking about was basically giving people that identity, like giving people like, sayings, words, slogans, whatever, that they can be like, yeah, that's me. I'm like that. And that's a really, really powerful way to collect people. She's a professional collector of people on Facebook.
Nice.
Yeah.
Need to get to know her.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Cool. That's great. That all resonates. And that's, perfect timing for that too. Appreciate it. Thank you, Cal.
Beautiful, man.
Oh, wait, one other quick question. Sorry.
Yeah.
Because like you were saying, so one possibility is, do I do the group in Simplero? Where do I put this? Because another question is, do I keep this group? And I mean, obviously there's obvious reasons to have a group in Facebook. You make the connections there and all, but there are also, I get feedback from a lot of people like, I don't really want to be on Facebook. I'm wondering if maybe my people would prefer, I might meet them on Facebook, but they might appreciate being in a group elsewhere.
Yeah.
Any feedback on that? Any
Um,
experience with that?
what I'll tell you is I see the same thing, right? The advantage to Facebook is that most people are on there, but some people really don't want to be on there, so that's a problem. Also, so it's an advantage that people are already there, so for them to go, log in and find the route, et cetera, is they're already there. But at the same time, like I personally drown in notifications on Facebook, and I think a lot of people things drown on Facebook. So having it, on a separate platform actually might be a lot better. What we're investing heavily in community features on Simplero right now. So we're going to be building out the whole community piece on both web and mobile with push notifications and chat messaging and all that good stuff. So that's coming out. It's coming out this year. I can't say exactly when, but so one option is just keep it Facebook for now, and then when we have a little bit of a better, I would definitely move it to Simplero at that point, or you could put it Simplero now in anticipation of that.
Yeah.
Work well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It might be easier it might be honestly be easier to start with that paid community in Simplero and then be like, yeah, it's going to get better, but moving people off of Facebook later could be more problematic.
Yeah, for now, the free group can just stay on Facebook. And maybe that's how I do it. I keep the free group there and have the paid one.
Sure, because that's you want to leverage Facebook for reach for that.
Yeah, least resistance. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you, Cal. Appreciate it.
All right. Cool. Thanks, Tom. Good to see you again, man.
Good to see you.
Yeah. All right, cool. Where are we at? Bryson? All right. Cool. Let's do it. Yeah. I'd love to talk to Catherine though, if she's willing. I want to hear what the question was, even if it was answered indirectly. We can give a direct answer. I don't know what the question was. Here we go.
Because you kind of said to do that. And so
Okay.
I need you to tell me, I don't need you to tell me, let me rephrase that. I have huge money blocks because money has been so hard for me. Like, I'm okay with paying. I love paying people. But to ask for money is so hard for me. And I have gone back and forth of like, this is the lowest I can charge. This is the highest I can charge. This is the middle ground I can charge. So as I'm launching my program, do you think I should go low, high, or medium?
High.
What is high to you? Because to me, like, it might be different. Like, what for a monthly membership?
No, I mean, I can't give you a number because it depends on so many factors, but I would say go high for you.
Okay, high for me.
Right.
Okay.
Because the thing is like there's so many advantages to charging more, right? A, you make more money. It's great, good. B, you can invest more in the people that do buy from you. C, you attract better clients, right? People who buy a BMW or a Tesla are just going to complain less than the person who buys the whatever cheap car it is. Like it's just human psychology. It's just how humans are wired. It's not good or bad or right or wrong. It's just how it is.
So I'll charge more, but then do some volunteer work for the poor. Or
what is that story in your head that says you're not worth, like you're only worth giving money to other people, but not asking for money or receiving money? What's that?
Not that I think I'm not worth it. It's that I feel like I need to save the poor little people. I need to, By
teaching them piano?
That's sounds ridiculous. So, okay, and I can just volunteer for like the hungry or something, or, I'm way oversimplifying it, but I can find meaningful volunteer work, but not have this be my volunteer work.
Totally right. And you can always pro bono some people that you want to help. However, let me say this really, really clearly. The best thing that you can do for poor people is to make sure you're not one of them.
Oh, mic drop right there. Oh gosh, that was really good. I'm never going to forget. I am never going to.
Because you want to make sure you're not poor so that you have plenty of resources to give to help others. And it's totally cool to give give money to people who are in need. That's great. That's awesome. But more importantly is you want to model to people how to not be poor. People become poor or overweight or single or whatever it is because of their behaviors, which comes from their mindsets and their beliefs and their unconscious programming, right? So just giving money to poor people doesn't make them less poor because it's a mindset issue. And so by fixing that for you, you can actually help people out of poverty by modeling.
Okay. Thank you. That was good. That was really good. Okay. Go help the other person if you want. I don't want to
You're good, Kimberly. I love you.
I love you.
All right.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you. Oh, nice. All right. Are we still? Let's see here. Got it. All right. Cool. So, do we have anything else? Are we wrapping here? I think I want to just re-emphasize the importance. It's like that good old saying that they all talk about, like with the oxygen mask at the airport and the airplanes, right? Like really help yourself first before you help other people. But it's very easy to fall into the trap of wanting to help everybody else before helping ourselves, especially like it's the classic thing if you're sort of in the healing, helping profession, right? Heal thyself. It's like the healers who don't want to do their own self-healing are the most common thing ever. So always remember, do your own work first, and then you can go support other people. I see Tom is dialing in.
Since you're
again,
still
so
here
cool.
and following Kimberly's lead here.
Nice. And you managed the technology too this time.
And it worked this time, yeah.
It's
It's like
amazing.
after you do it once, it gives you a pass the next time. It's cool.
Yeah.
No, I love this, and I just wanted to throw something in the hat about this because I love what you said. Yeah, obviously, the best thing you can do is not be poor or broke yourself. And also, I'm a firm believer. I just wanted to throw this out there, and I think you're largely saying this is we can actually do both at the same time. I am 1,000% convinced from my own experience. It's really doesn't have to be about choosing me first and then others, because the truth is it's hard to get our brains to work that way. If we serve, we serve, and it's hard to compartmentalize and say, okay, what does it even mean to take care of myself first? What does that really mean? I feel that a lot of us, it's just we got to tweak a little bit, because what happens, you hear this a lot, right? Oh, I'm burnt out because I'm serving others all the time. It looks like that, but what's actually happening for so many of us is we are leaving ourselves out in the serving. All we have to do is bring ourselves along. If we bring ourselves along in our service, I believe that's what we're really looking for. It's not linear. It's not like I'm good, because guess what? A lot of people are trying to do that. And self-mastery, like you're saying about success, unfortunately, is not something we can, okay, bam, I've mastered myself. Now I can help others. Most people are doing the other way around, not bringing any helping others and forgetting about themselves. All you got to do is just include yourself. So I just want to throw that out there because I think that's what you're saying, but I don't think it really works linearly.
No, yeah,
So I
no,
just want to
absolutely.
put it out there.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like, and I think a lot of times people are, yeah, they're helping other people because it makes them feel good. And they're so busy. Like, I feel like if you're so busy serving other people that you can't be fully there for yourself and fully there yourself, you're not actually serving other people. You're kind of abusing them to fill some need, some void in you. And, it's not really serving them. Like,
Right.
serving doesn't is not the same as pleasing, right? Serving is not the same as, just doing what everybody else wants and neglecting yourself. That's not serving. Serving is
Exactly.
what truly serves the greater whole here, what serves me, what serves you, what serves the life here. That's what we're going for. Yeah. And 100%
Amen.
is not a linear, like, oh, now I've like reached that level and I can whatever, I can give back, etc. um, but definitely when it comes to, if we talk about like having concern for poor people, it helps to figure out the poverty thing for yourself first, and then
Yeah,
we
for
can
sure.
help them, right? Yeah,
Yeah, rather than trying to ask them for advice.
yeah,
Yeah, awesome.
yeah.
Appreciate it.
All right, thank you, Tom.
Interesting.
Appreciate you, man. All right, cool, guys. This was super fun. We should do this more often. How about do you guys have plans next Thursday at say 1 p.m. Eastern? If so, I'm definitely down to do this again. I love the questions. I love the conversations that are happening here. I told a good friend, actually, I don't know if you guys heard the story I told a couple of weeks ago about going upstate New York with a couple of friends who are also in the coaching info business space. And and one of those guys is someone that I had over at my place several years ago. He's a friend of mine, Kenneth, and we had that exact conversation where he just really wanted to help people so much, and he was constantly broke. And I said those exact words to him: the best thing you can do for poor people is to make sure you're not one of them. And he took that to heart and he ran with it and he executed on it. And now he has a great business, and he's helping thousands of people with free and cheap materials. So it really works that way, right? You can help more people regardless of their income level by doing it right, by taking care of yourself, and by doing a good business. Running a good business is required. None of us here are doing it for the money, but without the money, it's not going to last. It's not sustainable, right? Back to success is an optimized daily experience, sustainable over time. One of the things that requires is cash, is money, is making money, is not being broke, right? If money is like running out of the bank account every day, it's like, it's not going to work. It's not going to last. So keep that in mind. And another lesson from my friend Kenneth is that he is the best person. I've given him so much advice over the years, and he will always take it, and then he will execute on it, and then he will tell me that he executed on it and what it did for him. And that is so rare. That it's so rare that people actually ask your advice when they know, like when you have something real to offer, ask your advice, take your advice, and then follow up with you again. It's really a sight to behold. It's really amazing, and it makes me want to give him even more and contribute even more and help lift him up even more because he does that. And so I think that's a good reminder as well for everybody who's watching the show and everybody who's here. Like, I just want to lift you up. That's all I'm here to do. And the more that you figure out how can you leverage me to lift yourself up, and then you ask your question, you ask for the advice, and then you go execute on it, and then report back and let me know how it went. And we've got something really cool going on, and I will, like, for anybody who's achieved anything, that's the pinnacle, man. Like, we want to help other people. We really do, right? Everybody, and you all know this, you all feel this way, right? Everything that you've accomplished, I bet that you want to help other people accomplish the same. They just have to want it and ask for it. And then it's happening. So with that, guys, this was a pleasure. As always, I love you all. I appreciate you for being here with us live. And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys next week and the week after and the week after and the week after. And we're going to keep doing this for as long as, for eternity. I don't know, for as long as I'm alive, we'll see, but for a long, long time for sure. All right. Thank you, everybody. Be well. You're amazing people. Thank you for the great questions. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.